Welcome to Unsolved Historical Mysteries. Mysterious UFOs in Ancient History, Evidence of Alien Encounters. Throughout history, humanity has always been fascinated by the unknown, especially when it comes to the mysteries of the skies. From ancient times to modern day, stories of strange objects in the sky, what we now call UFOs, have captured our imagination. But what if these sightings go back much further than we think? Many ancient civilizations recorded unusual phenomena in the skies. These weren't just random accounts, but detailed descriptions of objects and events that they couldn't explain. One of the most intriguing aspects of these ancient UFO sightings is that they come from different parts of the world. Civilizations that had no contact with each other still reported similar occurrences. Was it a coincidence? For example, some ancient carvings and paintings depict mysterious shapes that resemble flying objects or beings from the sky. Why were these sightings so important to these civilizations? Perhaps it was their belief that these objects were divine or otherworldly. Or maybe they were witnessing something extraordinary that we're only now beginning to understand. These ancient stories of UFOs continue to intrigue us today, leaving many to wonder, were they really seeing visitors from another world? When we look at different cultures from ancient times, many of them share stories of strange objects in the sky. One of the most famous examples comes from ancient Egypt. There is a well-known story recorded in the Toli Papyrus, which describes mysterious, fiery discs appearing in the sky. The Egyptians at the time interpreted these objects as omens, but modern researchers see them as possible evidence of UFO sightings. In India, ancient texts called the Vedas contain fascinating descriptions of flying machines known as Vimanas. These flying objects were said to carry gods across the sky, but some theorists believe these accounts could be describing advanced technology, possibly of extraterrestrial origin. Indigenous cultures across the Americas also have their own stories. Many Native American tribes have legends about beings from the stars visiting their people. These sky visitors were often seen as spiritual entities. But the similarities to modern UFO encounters cannot be ignored. What makes these ancient encounters so intriguing is that they come from vastly different cultures, separated by thousands of miles and centuries of time. Yet, the descriptions are often surprisingly similar. Glowing or flying objects, beings from the sky, and mysterious lights. Were these just myths and symbols, or were these cultures recording real events? These ancient stories might hold clues to one of the greatest mysteries of all time: the possibility that we are not alone in the universe. The idea that ancient civilizations encountered UFOs isn't just based on stories and legends. There are physical artifacts and carvings that add to the mystery. In many ancient cultures, we find carvings and artworks that seem to depict modern-looking objects. Some of these resemble flying saucers or even astronauts. These images can be found in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, Mayan carvings, and even in medieval paintings. In some cases, historians have interpreted these objects as representations of gods or religious symbols. However, UFO theorists suggest that these images might actually show evidence of advanced technology that existed long before modern times. One of the most striking examples is found in the Tomb of Pacal in Mexico. The sarcophagus lid of the Mayan ruler Pacal shows an image that some believe looks like a man sitting inside a spacecraft controlling various levers and gears. While traditional scholars argue this is symbolic of Pacal's journey to the underworld, others believe it could depict ancient technology. Another piece of evidence comes from ancient astronomical knowledge. Some civilizations, such as the Sumerians and the Mayans, had a deep understanding of the stars and planets, far beyond what was expected for their time. How did they acquire this knowledge? Could it be that they had help from an advanced civilization? Or perhaps they witnessed something in the skies that inspired their studies? These theories are often met with skepticism, but the evidence behind them continues to spark debate. Is it possible that ancient civilizations had contact with beings or technologies far beyond their own capabilities? While the idea of ancient UFO encounters is exciting, it's also highly controversial. Many historians and archaeologists believe that the so-called evidence for ancient UFOs is simply a result of misinterpretation. Ancient texts and artworks that seem to depict flying objects or alien-like beings could have been symbolic representations of religious or natural phenomena. For example, the fiery discs mentioned in the Tolli Papyrus from Egypt might have been describing a natural event like meteors or atmospheric phenomena, rather than actual spacecraft. Similarly, the Vimanas from ancient Indian texts could be metaphorical representations of divine power, rather than literal flying machines. In many cases, these stories might be more mythological than historical. One of the biggest challenges in studying ancient UFO theories is separating fact from fiction. Over the years, sensationalized interpretations have led to the rise of modern myths surrounding ancient aliens. Television shows and books often promote the idea of extraterrestrial involvement without providing solid evidence. Skeptics also point to the lack of consistent, verifiable proof. Despite the numerous stories and artifacts, there hasn't been any conclusive evidence to prove that ancient civilizations were visited by extraterrestrials. Instead, alternative explanations, such as natural phenomena, artistic symbolism, or even misunderstandings of ancient cultures' beliefs, offer more grounded reasons for these mysterious accounts. While the debate continues, it's clear that the subject of ancient UFOs sparks the imagination. But for now, the question remains, were these just ancient myths? Or is there something more? So, after exploring the stories, artifacts, and theories, where does that leave us in the debate about ancient UFOs? On one hand, we have compelling evidence from ancient texts, carvings, and artifacts that seem to show strange objects in the sky. The similarities across different cultures are striking. Ancient people who had no contact with each other reported seeing very similar phenomena. These stories and images raise questions that still captivate us today. Could it be that ancient civilizations really experienced something beyond their understanding? Was there a form of advanced technology, or even visitors from another world influencing them? On the other hand, we must acknowledge the skepticism. Theories about ancient UFOs often rely on interpretations that can easily be explained by natural events, artistic symbolism, or mythology. Without concrete, scientific proof, it is difficult to say definitively that UFOs visited ancient Earth. Ultimately, the mystery of ancient UFOs remains just that, a mystery. What we do know is that these ancient stories continue to inspire curiosity, debate, and exploration. They remind us that our history is full of unknowns, and that there are still questions waiting to be answered about our place in the universe. Maybe one day, we will uncover the truth about these ancient encounters. Until then, the stories of mysterious objects in the sky will continue to fuel our imagination and wonder about the possibility of life beyond our planet. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.